Malpal, let's head on over to the hotline because we are extremely excited to welcome in a lady that just got a new title, and it's a pretty big one if you ask me. We're welcoming in new Cy-Fair Independent School District Athletic Director Virginia Flores. Howdy, ma'am. How are you?
I'm doing great, doing well. We just had a meeting with all of our coordinators and assistant coordinators to close out the year, so it was good to see everybody. But just happy to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely. And I mean, just obviously, it has been announced for some time that your predecessor, Ray Zapata, is heading over to take on the new UIL athletic director role. I know that was really exciting for all of you down there in Cy-Fair ISD. What has this time been spent like for you so far after that announcement and kind of knowing that you were the next one to hopefully fill the shoes there?
It's bittersweet, and that's probably the best term. When we found out that Ray, got the job, and we've told many people this. I mean, it was, selfishly, we were devastated. He is a tremendous leader. He cares so much for kids, and coaches and wanting to do right by them, and he has really done such a tremendous job of making Cy-Fair ISD a destination. And to know that he was going to leave, selfishly was something that we had a hard time with. But then when we realized, like, hey, this is the guy that's going to be representing every coach and every athlete, for the state of Texas, and being an advocate for them. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better guy to do that. So we're super happy for him. This position, it wasn't quite finalized, and announced until Monday, but I think what's been great is that we have a tremendous team here in our office and our staff who all just, we love to work hard. We love to serve kids, and they have been nothing but supportive. And of course, the scope of this can feel overwhelming at times when you've got 12 high schools and 20 middle schools and you're overseeing compliance. But what's been great is that every single person steps up. Like, it truly is a team. And it's one of the things I love about sports is that we all come together collectively to work hard for the greater good.
No doubt about that. Now let's go ahead and throw it all the way back to the beginning here. You were a girls basketball coach for a while, and you even have a state championship to your name there at Cy Woods. What did you love the most about being a coach at the high school realm?
Wow. There's so many facets of it that I loved and I do miss. And, like where I am now, you don't get to see the daily interaction with the kids. And I think I miss that the most, is that when you have a kid that comes in as a freshman and leaves as a senior, you get to see and get to be a part of the growth. You get them to buy into the experience of working through tough situations and coming out on the other side. So I miss that, the collegial part of it, getting with the other coaches and talking shop and the X's and the O's. This weekend is the TABC clinic in San Antonio, and my husband is, he coaches over at Cypress Falls. And I'm, a little jealous because I know they're going over there to get some great, they're going to get some great info. They're going to be able to talk with other coaches, about best practices. And I miss that part of it, but I do miss the kids. And so what's nice about the job where I am now is that I get to go out and see these kids perform, at all levels. And I think that's what's been great, is it's not just relegated to basketball anymore. I get to see all of our kids compete. We've got softball this weekend in the regional semifinals. We got two teams, Bridgeland and Langham Creek. We still got baseball with Cy Woods. And so just being able to see these kids and coaches do what they do on the daily is very rewarding.
So I'm interested to get your take on this because we've talked to a couple of coaches turned either administrator in the more academic realm, more administrator obviously in what you're doing in the athletics realm. Obviously all of those bleed over together. But when you decided to kind of hang up that coaching hat and take a different opportunity, whether that be principal then on to athletic director, a lot of people that we hear say that is, yes, I can absolutely impact the team that I was coaching, but I felt moved to go take a larger role in the scope of I could help all of those kids. And you're not only helping one school, I mean, you're helping 13 different schools. How gratifying is that for you to be able to know that you're able to touch that many more lives in this new role?
I think that's the hope, right? Like that's kind of what you walk into, and that's what you're hoping, because you realize, and I think people, in leadership positions realize it's not the idea that you're there to oversee, or even to lead, like, and I know it gets overused, but it really is about, like, now you have the opportunity, and that's what it is, to serve so many more people. And I really think that that's what our life is all about, and I don't care what profession you're in. Part of our job as humans is to be able to serve others, and to do that with gratitude, to do it, like, to be positive, and to be able to do it in this realm is very gratifying. To be able to support coaches as they try to help kids grow, to be able to support kids, to be able to support parents at the community level. It's something that it makes it easy to come to work every day. I'll say that.
And like you said, your husband coaches in this system, and to my understanding, you have two little kiddos that are actually involved in athletics in the Cy-Fair ISD athletic system. How cool is it to watch them kind of go through this athletics department, the one that you're the head of? And do you have to kind of be impartial to the teams that are playing?
That's a good question. I'll tell you this. And getting to my sons first, my husband does a tremendous job. They won a state championship as well in 2017. Does a great job with his program. My son's over there with him, and played on the JV level for his other coaches. And I was just telling our coordinators and assistant coordinators today in our meeting, I really, really appreciate the village that I live in, that I have other people, and coaches in particular, who are helping me raise my sons. I don't think we can do that in a vacuum, and I think we've gotten away from that. And I trust implicitly these coaches that are pouring into my kids on the daily, because I know how much they love them. And I know what they really want for them in the end is the absolute best. Like, they're going to push them. They want them to be the best academically. They want them to be good citizens. And, of course, they want them to compete. But I think that big picture of developing them as young men, it makes me feel good as a parent to know that I have help with that. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the reasons I value our coaches so much. So as far as having my sons be a part of that, I'm just super, super grateful for the great coaches that we do have to help us raise them.
Do your boys ever like to remind Coach Flores that that there's a boss of not only the house but of the job as well? Do they like to let Dad remember that a little bit?
You know what? That's funny. So I might be the boss out here, but we're gonna, like, Richard. He takes care of business at the house, and I appreciate that. So. And the boys also understand that dynamic. So the buck stops at Mom, and the buck stops at Dad. So and I will say this: my husband and I are both highly competitive, and so we've realized the key to us, like, doing anything well is to make sure we're on the same team. So our boys know that Mom and Dad are on the same team, and don't try to, like, do it any other way. And then we know we're going to be successful.
A fun, friendly household competition. Well, before we let you go, Virginia, we wanted to ask, obviously, you were left in great hands with Coach Zepeda making his way, but there's also always opportunity for change, and I know that Coach Zepeda would be the first person to say, if anyone can create that it would be you. What's the one big goal for you kind of heading into this first school year as athletic director there at Cy-Fair?
Good question. That's a great question. I think that Coach Zepeda has steered this ship in the right direction, and I think part of our job is to make sure that we're keeping it on track. That we're still making this place a destination. If there was one goal that I had to really focus on, I think it would be about, like, how do we make sure and ensure that our coaches that are here, that we're attracting quality coaches, but that we're also keeping them. In education right now, and this isn't true just for CFISD. I think this is something statewide. We have a lot of teachers and coaches that are leaving the profession for various reasons. And I think that one of the things that we have to do is we have to be examples and beacons. And I want to really focus on making sure that our coaches feel supported, and they feel so supported that they want to encourage, and they're also speaking light into others to come into this profession, because there's there's been no more. It's more important now than ever for our coaches and for their jobs and what they mean, and no other place where are we working to get kids to unite behind something, regardless of race, religion, creed. We're getting kids to unite around one common goal. And I think that's super important right now, I think, in a time like this. And so I really believe that our coaches have that calling. And so my job and my goal is to make sure that we're getting more coaches to stay and we're getting more coaches to come into to CFISD.
Well, there she is. She is the new athletic director of Cy-Fair ISD down there in the greater Houston area, Virginia Flores. Virginia, thank you so much. Congratulations again on the new role. And I know that we're super pumped to work with you. So I'm sure you'll be, this is not the last time we'll speak heading into next year.
Absolutely. Ashley, thank you so much for having me.
There she goes, new Cy-Fair athletic director, Virginia Flores. Just so incredibly excited for her and this new opportunity that she's getting.